You haven't lived until you've heard the show Americans are talking about. The show that launches its listeners to the height of humanity. The audio hour that travels the landscape of adventure. The sound that comforts more than the clip of your first bolt. It's the Ogden Outdoor Adventure Show.
Outdoor Adventure summits the airwaves. It's the Ogden Outdoor Adventure Show. I am your host, Brandon Long. I'm belay with you for the next about 40 minutes or so. With me via Zoom are the co-hosts this week. So one co-host, one guest, the best co-host in all the land, Todd at the top. I am hanging out in Banyan 1. Todd is hanging out at home, I guess. I don't know. Where are you, Todd?
Yep, I'm home.
At home. And Bryden, our special guest this week, is in an undisclosed location. We'll get back to that here in a minute, but we cannot tell you where he is. This is very important.
No, nobody can know where I'm at.
Yes. This week we have a weekly happy. We do have our interview here with our guest, Bryden Bowley, purveyor of the new Traverse, a curated used and vintage apparel shop within Gear 30. We'll give you some on the docket, including some virtual avalanche classes. Also, very important news or update about snow basin season passes. In the news, Bonneville Shoreline trail improvement, Park City cancellations, Snowbird parking reservations, the nature cure, feed the sheep, snow is coming, first triggered avalanche of the season, the Big Gear Show moves, where's it moving to? And Todd, I'm really sorry about this next one, but it is worth considering. This is news. It is a news story. Mount Everest induced boners, and we'll go over what that means in the news segment. Worth watching, the Falcon. We'll give you a Gear 30 segment. Again, I want to tell you about Traverse, but we'll hit that early, but we'll tell you what's going on at the shop. Quote of the week and Outdoor Jukebox. All of this and more on the Ogden Outdoor Adventure Show, episode 361, Mad World. So let's charge.
He summits with the agility of a mountain goat, flashes routes faster than UPS, is more intimate in the mountains than Jake Gyllenhaal. He's Todd to the top.
Todd at the top on his 6th or 7th Zoom call of the day. So thanks, Todd, for setting this up.
Squeezing in one more.
One more. Well, let's give you a weekly happy. I know it's been a stressful week. Let's go with like a survival story right out of California. This is our weekly happy. If you guys can see the screen now, I will show. This thing went viral, so maybe you've already seen it. But the kayakers that were swallowed by a humpback whale. Have you guys seen this?
What?
Yeah, these kayakers were. And watch the stand-up paddleboarder. So this kayaker here in the yellow. This is Avila Beach, California. I don't know where that is. They are literally whale watching. They bait the whale. So they do this on purpose. And here comes. And this paddle.
Oh shit! Oh shit! What?
But they were okay. So this is the slow motion. The kayakers are in the mouth of the humpback whale right there. Oh. They actually make it out. Yeah, pretty wild. They survived. They went in the water. They went in the drink for like a minute, and then they were good. They were all good. It's a good story. Happy ending. Yeah, pretty crazy, right?
That's a great video.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. All right, so Bryden, thanks for joining us this week. Bryden Bowley, purveyor of the new Traverse, the curated vintage used store within Gear 30, opens next Thursday on the 12th.
Yep.
Bryden, what the hell is this? What are you doing? Why don't you describe it?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot to go over and describe to really properly portray the message of what Traverse actually, the intentions of what Traverse is. I think the first thing that comes to my mind is that it's an attempt to share with people that quality outdoor gear lasts a lot longer than what people are using their own personal things for, or like the time length that people are using outdoor gear for. There's a lot of outdoor gear in existence that's just sitting in closets or sitting on shelves or in, who knows, it's like donated to thrift stores, whatever, that still has a lot of life in it. And sometimes those things look, the aesthetic and the style of those things look cooler than the things that are coming out today. So that's one goal. Yeah. So, and then another thing is to share how cool some of this stuff is. I don't know. I feel kind of nervous. I don't know how to.
No,
explain
that's good. But you came up with, this is all your idea. But do you remember how you came up with it, or where, or what you could? Were you thrifting and was like, you know what? Probably I could do this in the shop. Like, what was the process? Like, how did that come along?
How did I get to the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes back I think it goes back a really long time. So I've been, for some reason, sort of to the point where I would say I'm obsessed with like vintage outdoor gear for a really long time, maybe 8 or 9 years at this point, where I've been like seeking it out in thrift stores and trying to find it, maybe buying it, even like liking something so much that I buy it on eBay from somebody for like some crazy price. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, it's been like maybe 8 or 9 years now that I've been like seeking things like this out, especially Patagonia.
Do you have a personal prized possession right now that you bought, that you thrifted? Not your Gucci shoes?
Yeah, I've got a couple like Patagonia items that are vintage that are definitely like my prized possessions. Do you want me to tell you what they are?
No, yeah, I'm just curious what you had that you really liked.
Yeah, so okay, the first thing that comes to my mind, one of my friends in Buffalo, New York, he runs a vintage store, and one time I traded him, 2 years ago, I traded him a pair of Air Blaster snow pants for a spring 1997 line Patagonia deep pile fleece, and it's like this really sweet 90s like turquoise blue with like a purple inside, and those are really rare, and especially in the condition that it's in. So that's like one of my most prized possessions. I got a similar one like that at Vantage in Salt Lake City not too long ago. I think it's a fall 97 one. Basically any of like the deep pile 90s Patagonia that they made. Like deep pile is this material that Patagonia made that's like super, super fuzzy. It looks like the material that could be on like the toilet seat of your grandma's house, that like really fuzzy.
It is there. Yeah.
That's called deep pile material. So any vintage Patagonia deep pile is like worth quite a bit, and definitely very rare, very rare. So, well,
you showed me some of the things that, I mean, some of this stuff sells for almost $1,000.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's actually like something that's really rare to find in a brand. And the North Face definitely is this way as well in some regard, like on certain things that they've made over the years. But Patagonia is like this very strange brand that like has done such a good job at developing like a fan base that just adores like anything that they make. And they have this like rare thing that they're doing, or that has been created from their fans, and that's things that are older are actually worth more than things that are coming out today. So the older, the more expensive. Anything from Patagonia in the 70s, or anything that's like Chenard equipment back when Yvon Chouinard started Patagonia, like anything like that, I mean, that can go for thousands for sure.
You've got a couple other brands that are sort of a big deal. You have the North Face, Mountain Hardwear. Dale of Norway. Are there others that I missed?
Arc'teryx is one that I'm
Arc'teryx.
super interested in as well. Arc'teryx is like, I'm not super educated on like the brand itself, but I do know that like early 2000s Arc'teryx is like very expensive and very rare. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in Arc'teryx. Maybe even some like made in USA Columbia from the 90s back, like, I don't know, when they were really operating out of Portland and they didn't like buy Mountain Hardware, stuff like that. Older Columbia is really cool too. Even older REI stuff, their in-house brand. Older REI stuff is really cool.
So the concept of the store, what you're doing is you're collecting the stuff. Like right now you're out trying to find stuff to sell. Like this just doesn't happen upon you. You've got to go find it, right?
Yeah, and it's very hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you're going to release it in what would be drops, I guess.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
And then you get to choose the drops. So whatever you choose, they're all just one-offs. So if you get it, you get it.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something that I think has really drawn people to vintage clothing is when you shop for something, you're not having a full size run of something. If it fits, it fits. If it doesn't fit, you might still want it because, if it's a little bit bigger on you, you're kind of like, well, I really, really like this and I'll never find it again. There's that one aspect of shopping for vintage clothing is how long would it take and will I ever find this ever again? Because when you're shopping brand new, you're like, oh, this doesn't really fit me. Like maybe I'll get online, go to some other online store and they might have my size. That doesn't happen with vintage clothing. It's all one off. It's all right there in person. And you have that shopper experience of feeling like you found something that nobody else can have.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unique.
Yeah.
Where this is like a curated experience to some degree. Is this mostly for your collector or is this for somebody who wants to save some money on some gear? What's your idea? Or a mix of both, maybe?
Yeah, my goal is to address both. So the main goal is to help Gear 30's customer basis where if they feel like they can't really so we sell premier mountain equipment. We sell what we feel is the best stuff in the outdoors industry.
Heirloom stuff.
Yeah. So like I feel like if customers feel like they can't really necessarily afford that brand new jacket or tent or sleeping bag, whatever it might be, Traverse is a really good alternate option for them to come and get like an Arc'teryx or Patagonia jacket that still has a bunch of life in it left, and it could be half the price of something brand new. So I'm trying to address that clientele, but then also I'm trying to address people that have the same interests as me, where they like are really seeking these things out that are really hard to find, and like, I don't know. Yeah. Vintage collectors, vintage shoppers, kind of like it's like a two-way street coming towards.
Yeah. It's
Traverse.
like you're going to a record store or something. I mean, you could still find some good deals, but you find those treasures that are going to be little investments too.
Exactly.
So it's a good mix. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
Good example, Todd. Those record stores.
Yeah. I'm super excited about it. Yeah.
So first drop is Thursday the 12th at Gear 30, and it's going to be, now you put a timestamp on that. So 5 or 5:30, something like that?
I said 5 p.m. Yeah.
5 p.m.?
5 p.m. So you have 2 hours to shop on the 12th before we close. And and then it will be available until it's gone. And then the second drop, I think we're going to do on Black Friday. Yep. Like a Black Friday drop. We haven't really decided yet if it's going to be on Black Friday, specifically that day, but there will be a Black Friday drop. And hopefully I'm anticipating even like a Christmas drop as well.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yep.
Now, Bryden, are you securing most of this gear? If somebody has something cool that they want to, I don't know, sell to you or sell to Gear 30, what do you do then?
Yeah, so actually we that's still in the works. We've done this with a couple of our regular customers and one of our athletes, one of our ambassadors, but Gear 30 will be implementing a system where people can bring their used or vintage gear in, and I can appraise it, and then we can give that person a gift card for store credit in exchange for what they bring. So,
and that's something you're thinking of doing down the line, but not quite yet.
I think we'll be doing it pretty quickly here, but so pretty soon, but we don't have a set plan for that just yet. Like I said, we have done it with a couple of our really close regular ambassadors, but other than that, we still need to figure out a way to really implement that and act on it. But we will be doing that, yeah.
But it's not consignment.
Yes, that's something I was just about to say. For those of you, if you're listening to this right now and you're kind of imagining a consignment shop where there's a bunch of different options, or you see racks of I don't know, it kind of looks like a garage with a bunch of clothing. It's not going to be that at all. It's going to be very selective, very specific, with intention. Everything that you could buy from the Traverse section of Gear 30, there's intention in each individual piece. So it's not I don't know. Don't anticipate this being a thrift store or a ski swap outerwear section. It's not going to be that at all. This is definitely one of a kind for Ogden. I've never seen it in Ogden, or I don't know. I haven't really seen it. Maybe ever. I mean, I've seen things like Vantage in Salt Lake City is a really great example. I really look up to those guys, my friends at Vantage. But Traverse is definitely more specific to outdoor gear. They have outdoor gear, but they do all sorts of vintage clothing, and they have a really great selection. So, yeah.
And then
I just had one last little question for you. Is this just clothing, or is this also gear as well?
Right now it's just clothing, and I'm considering doing some camping hard goods and maybe some footwear, very specific selective footwear, but there's not going to be any ski or snowboard hard goods. Yeah, maybe in a spring drop, we might have some sleeping bags and a tent or something like that. Very specific things, but right now it's just clothing.
Sweet. I do know that I enjoy looking at vintage backpacks and bags and things like that.
Yeah.
Some of these things that have a lot of charm, you know what I mean, through the years, and bags that I would still use today. And so you keep an eye out. You see some cool bags, you think of me, because I love those old backpacks and things.
Okay, I see old backpacks all the time.
So I think that's kind of rad too.
I take back what something I just said. This definitely has been done in certain places. Brandon just sent me a really fantastic article of this guy who has a collection in Brooklyn, and that was really, really cool. I guess I was just trying to say that especially in Ogden, I've never seen a vintage outdoor gear store or anything that specific. You know what I mean? So there's people who have done it, but I've mainly only seen it on an online shopper experience, not so much an in-person.
And to follow along, you're putting everything on Instagram, meaning all the communication and stuff.
Yeah. I've been posting daily on Instagram, just little tease items or cool photos that I think are, I don't know, cool vintage outdoor photos, stuff like that. So yeah, you should come and follow me on Instagram. It's Traverse_Ogden.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bryden. I'm stoked, man. Launches
really
on
excited
Thursday.
I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, I think it's exciting, and I just want to share what I think is cool with people. And maybe they'll think it's cool too. Maybe they won't. I don't know.
It's an experiment. Experiments are good. You never know how they're going to turn out. That's awesome.
Experiment. It's definitely an experiment. Yep.
Well, I know you're hanging out with us in a very important parking lot, somewhere in America, probably in the West, but who knows? Maybe you're in Pennsylvania. I don't know where you are right now. You could be anywhere.
I mean, I could be. I hear there's a vintage supply on Mars. So on Mars. I mean, we never really know.
Yeah, you don't know. We're going to move to the on the docket section. Bryden, you're more than welcome to hang out with us, or if you want to jump off, feel free. Either way.
I'll hang out for a little bit.
Okay, man. On the docket, and I have some very important news. So, first of all, the 10th through the 12th is the 13th annual Utah Snow and Avalanche Workshop. It is all virtual. So, the Utah Avalanche Center is going virtual. Go to their website and under events. It's from 6:30 to 9 p.m. all 3 days. That's November 10th through the 12th. It's the 13th annual Utah Snow and Avalanche Workshop. All right, now here's the very important local information. I know I have a season pass to Snow Basin. I know a lot of you listeners do. The Snow Basin season pass pickup, they are requiring that you print your pass before opening day. Meaning I don't think they're going to do it up there in the lodge like they normally do. So there will be a pass pickup at Golden Spike Arena November 13th through the 14th. So Friday it will be 5:30 to 9, and Saturday it will be 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So if you have a season pass to Snow Basin, you have to figure out how to get your pass printed before opening day, which is, what are we, like 2-3 weeks away? We're getting close.
Wow. Whoa.
Yeah. Also, next weekend is the Antelope Island Fall Classic 50K. So if you had plans to go out to the island, you will see a bunch of trail runners out there running the 50K, and that's Ogden Classic. It's a great run. And then we talked about this one on the last show, episode 360, the Ogden Nature Center Cup Hop fundraiser for Grounds for Coffee. It's for the Ogden Nature Center, but there's a Grounds for Coffee location from November 16th through the 21st, the Cafe Merc location on 26th from the 23rd through 28th, and then there you can pick one up at Ogden Nature Center during their holiday open house, November 30th through December 5th, and then there's one at Daily Rise, the 2865 Washington Boulevard, November 30th through December 5th. So you get your cup, and you can get a cup of coffee there, and then the proceeds go to Ogden Nature Center. And then if you want Thanksgiving dinner, but you don't want to cook Thanksgiving dinner, Snow Basin will cook it for you. The Snow Basin Thanksgiving dinner curbside pickup will be November 26th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., which is pretty cool. Okay, so you guys have your Thanksgiving's Day plans figured out yet? Yeah.
I personally don't. Maybe my mom will have like a bunch of really good food or something like that. I don't know.
All right, I'm going to share my screen. Let's go over some news items here. We'll jump into number one. The Bonneville Shoreline is going under some repair here. Trails Foundation of Northern Utah is upgrading some popular sections of the Bonneville Shoreline Trail. The busy section of one of the state's most popular mountain trails has received a significant upgrade, according to the Standard Examiner. Last month, the Trails Foundation of Northern Utah completed a repair of the Bonneville Shoreline Trail near the North Ogden Divide. Eric Manning, who's been on the show a few times, the group's executive director, said the segment of the trail, which runs from the Box Elder Weber County border to the Divide Road in North Ogden, is heavily used by hikers and mountain bikers and has degraded over the past several years. So they did some upgrade to it. So hopefully you locals will go use it. the Trails Foundation does have basically a subscription model for donation. So if you go to Trails Foundation Northern Utah, you can jump in as a member, subscriber kind of a thing, and pay monthly and help build trails locally, which is very cool. Park City Lodging, this is bad news, seeing a string of holiday cancellations, meaning people are nervous still. So, and this is, I think, kind of expected, that people are saying, you know what, we may wait on the ski industry or flying out and staying in Park City at least to go skiing this winter. Locals probably don't mind that so much. They're probably like, yeah, cool, more snow for me. I don't know, but what's that, Bryden?
I said they're saying more to ourselves.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so I don't really ski or ride Snowbird, but I know a lot of people do. But they are doing parking reservations this year. So you have to, I guess, reserve a parking spot. So this is to help keep the amount of traffic down up there. And, you know, COVID is an issue that we can navigate and keep, at least we can try and keep resorts open, which is the goal. So Snowbird announced today further details on its parking reservation system. This, according to Ski Utah, an important way Snowbird plans to manage the number of people on property in order to ensure the well-being of its guests, staff, and community. The parking reservation system, part of Snowbird's Operation Stay Safe, will be in place every day of the season, and parking spaces must be reserved before arriving to the resort to ensure availability. I don't know how they're going to get the word out, because there's still going to be a lot of people just show up and there's no parking. But yeah, go to snowbird.com/parking and get it done if you plan on going to Snowbird this season. Are you stressed out? Are you stressed? 2020 got you stressed? Go to nature. See nature. I know Bryden's pretty good at this. He kind of takes it to the extreme and sees nature for like months at a time.
Not this past summer. Not this past summer, but
yeah,
I try.
You through hikers, but there's healthy. It's healthy for you. Emotional health. There's been some studies that have come out that say go in nature. They found in a study in 2015 that people who took a 90-minute walk in a natural setting experienced less activity in the stress and rumination sections of their brains compared with people who took a similar walk in an urban setting. Calming natural sounds or even natural silence have also been linked to a lower blood pressure and a reduction of stress hormones, the stress hormone cortisol. So nature is for you.
Big love.
Big love to nature. I like it. And let's use those numbers to protect every damn inch of that we possibly can for all times. Every time they talk about those studies, I'm like, okay, let's use those and let's keep those in mind.
Well, and Todd, you're involved in a project too that is interesting to hear just the other day. There's some development here in downtown Ogden, and one of the developers who are associated with the project talked very much about how it's important to bring nature into those urban settings. So, it helps with the overall mood and vibe and just your mental health in urban areas.
Yeah, no, it's completely true. Those little oases. You need those urban oases. I love that. What's the plural of oasis? Oases?
Oasis? Oasi?
Oasted?
Oasted.
Oasted is the plural. That's the plural. Is oasted.
Yeah.
To add to this, to add to how nature affects your mental health. Plugging Traverse again. Shopping for vintage clothing is the most environmentally friendly way to dress yourself. So, wearing clothing that keeps distance. So, that's something to for everyone to think about.
No, that's yeah. I mean, upcycle. Speaking of upcycling, what are you doing with your pumpkins?
I'm leaving mine out this month because I didn't carve them, so I'm still going to enjoy them for November. So.
Yeah, I have 2 that I carved and I chucked them, and then I found this article. Your leftover pumpkins can help feed hungry Colorado sheep. How about that? I'm sure there's some sheep in Utah too, but
Doesn't have to be Colorado sheep.
Nope. A food bank in southern Colorado is asking for your leftover jack-o'-lanterns to help feed local farm animals. The Care and Share Food Bank is collecting leftover pumpkins and squash from Halloween until Sunday, November 15th. So if you're in the area, run your pumpkins on down there.
You think Colorado sheep know that they are Colorado sheep?
Nope.
Nope.
I think that is a distinctly human thing that we have to claim that we're these little areas. I think they'd be happy taking Utah pumpkin as well.
Oh, that's good stuff. It's going to snow hopefully next week along the Pacific, along the Northern Rockies. I don't know where I got Pacific from. Oh, right here, Pacific Northwest, Canada, and the Rockies. So maybe in the Sierra, be ready. It's going to snow. It's coming. Multiple storms, which is good.
Well, another hint at where I am. Where I am located right now did have snow on the hills this morning.
Canada.
I'm not. That's all I'll say.
I'm just guessing north. Just north.
North.
You're just north of us. Wherever that is, you're north of us.
Yeah.
Am I right or am I right?
Or maybe I'm so far south that
you're north.
That it's snowing. Wait, that wouldn't make sense.
Well,
So
I mean,
far
you'd have to be in like South Pole.
South Pole.
Yeah. It's avalanche season, and we just had the first avalanche in skier triggered avalanche that happened in Colorado. It was reported near Breckenridge. So yes, it is that season. As the snow drops, avalanches do occur. Go follow Ogden Avalanche here locally on Instagram and stay tuned to what the conditions are like on a daily, weekly basis. Also, you can go to the Utah Avalanche Center and look at conditions there as well, and take a Know Before You Go course or sit through one of their little presentations. It's fantastic. It's avalanche season. Avalanche season is now. We did talk about the Big Gear Show that was supposed to happen this summer. It was supposed to be their first year here in Salt Lake, and obviously that did not happen. So they have new dates, a new venue. They're moving to Deer Valley instead of downtown Salt Lake. They say that that is so that they can actually do the show outside. So they'll have booths set up outside, a lot of booths set up outside, and then you can, test paddle boards right there on the little pond lake thingy. And anyway, we'll see how it goes. The new Big Gear Show, which I think this is open to the public, if I remember right.
Huh. What a strange change of venue. It seems so odd.
Yeah.
Odd. Big Gear Show.
The Big Gear Show. Okay. Look at how happy this guy is. See his face, how happy he is. Well, it's because Mount Everest can induce uncontrollable boners. Yes.
Isn't it really cold there?
This is my favorite graphic for those who are watching this.
Oh my.
Which movie was that?
It's not Airplane, is it?
Maybe, or something like that.
One of the
It's
airplanes.
a spoof of something.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Baseball?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that.
Also known as altitude thickness, the phenomena of getting boners with changes in atmospheric pressure has long been known but rarely discussed aspect of climbing Mount Everest. Apparently, lower pressure due to altitude gain can cause blood to flow directly to that region of the male body and induce erections. It also happens on airplanes, and in which case it is referred to as the airplane boner. Everest Summit alum Sirnath Varma spoke with Vice News about it in an article aptly named Why Climbing Mount Everest Gives People Weird Boners. Now, this is the worst interview I have ever read in my life. Like look at the first question. Okay, and did you get an erection? Well, obviously, because we're talking about, you're interviewing me, dude. Yeah. Yes, it happened to me just after I crossed the 4,500 meters. I think it depends on the climbing experience, though. I'm sure it's different for everyone. For me, I ever only got those in the morning. Well, okay. Walk me through your first ever Everest boner. What happened? Like, what kind of question is this? Well, I wasn't prepared for it. I didn't even know it was a possibility. I woke up and I asked the Sherpa why it was happening and what caused it. Because the first thing you do is ask your Sherpa, right?
They know everything. They know everything. The Sherpas are part of the 5.5 mile high club.
Oh my.
I think you can just shut the story down now. I think you set me up for a punchline. Is all you did on that.
Oh my God. Ask the Sherpa. He explained that it was because of the altitude and blood flow. Did it only happen in the morning? No, but it does say that because of the altitude that it could last for 2 hours. And let me say that sometimes it's hard to go to the fridge in the kitchen, let alone try and hike Everest, I'm sure. So dealing with that for 2 hours is not pretty. I did not know that this was an issue. However, now everybody knows climbing Mount Everest, it does these things to your body. So,
how has this not come up in other stories?
I don't know, dude. It's, we finally found it. So, Bryden went, oh, there, Bryden's back. I was like, maybe the back of his window shows where it was giving away his location. So we had to kill the video on it.
Cut the recording.
Cut the recording. Okay, I do have something worth watching. This is very cool. So I'll go ahead and reshare the screen here. I found this little short. Todd, this reminds me of, the shorts that we watch for Banff Films. I think it's really well done. Found this. It's out on outsideonline.com. It's this gal. She's a pro skier. It seems like she's a pro skier. Anyway, she's sponsored by a few groups here. She owns a van nicknamed the Falcon. It's a 1990 camper van. Anyway, I'll play a little
Falcon
bit.
is a great name for a van.
That's
a good choice.
Yeah, for real. All right, here's the video. If it'll play.
People always ask me what my van's like, but I never really know what to say. She's a 1990 double-decker camper van called the Falcon.
It's like Sprinter, Falcon.
One of these things does not belong.
A
Yeah.
lot.
Are you in a rush or do you want to make pancakes?
Yeah, let's make pancakes. I've been living in her on and off for the past couple of years.
Some ski tricks. For those who can't see the video. Deep Pow ski tricks.
Falcon.
The Falcon.
Whoa. Oh.
She's front-wheel drive, so I usually try to make it up before the storm. We have our ups and downs, but at the end of the day, she keeps me warm and dry.
This is cool. You guys got to watch this. It's only 4 minutes long. We watched
Is that a heater? She got a heater in there?
That looks like a heater inside. Yeah, I don't know.
I had that same wood stove in my tiny house.
Oh, you did, really?
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, it's called a cubic mini. They're really nice.
Well,
You
just
put one in a van?
just
Yes, you
saying,
can.
my
Yeah, you can.
87 Dodge has the original heater in it. I don't need the Cuban Mini. What is this?
Cubic mini.
Cubic mini.
Cubic mini.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking cigars for a second. I didn't know.
No, it's a Cuban mini. It's a mini Cuban.
Let's move to the Gear 30 segment real quick. We do have the custom Big Sky Mountain product. The ski skins that were designed by local artist Denver Botter are in the store. Come check them out. They're really cool. And $10 of each of these skins sold goes to Ogden Avalanche to support the local nonprofit Ogden Avalanche. Also, we did get in some Bluntstone boots this week. So if you have been looking for the Bluntstone for all of your... Well, they're waterproof, so you can walk around campus in those things and your feet will stay dry. Also, I hear they look good in Instagram pictures, but I wouldn't know.
I've heard that. I've seen that.
You've seen that, yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
People, I mean, you put on a pair of Blundstone boots, you just look good.
Yeah. And functional because they're waterproof, which is cool.
They are waterproof.
This week's quote of the week. It looked like the world was covered in a cobbler crust of brown sugar and cinnamon. That is when describing November, from Sarah Addison Allen. Again, it looked like the world was covered in a cobbler crust of brown sugar and cinnamon. Yeah, it's kind of what November looks like. So, hey, thanks to Banyan One for powering today's 361st episode of the Ogden Outdoor Adventure Show. Look for us on Facebook, Instagram at Ogden Adventure, on Apple Podcasts, as well as Spotify, thebanyancollective.com, and on the Podbean app. All the show notes are available for your viewing pleasure, including links to all the things we talk about at thebanyancollective.com. DM us and tell us what you want to hear, or just say hi, or if there's a special guest you'd like to see on the show, at Ogden Adventure. So, Bryden, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I hope everyone is excited to come check out Traverse, and I hope they think it's cool.
I think it's cool. Todd thinks it's cool.
I'll be there. I think it's great.
Cool.
Yeah,
if you guys
I
think it's cool, then it is cool.
God.
All right, sifting through hours of crappy music so you don't have to. This week's guest on Van Sessions, or one of the guests that we have, is Christian Scheller. Right, Todd? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
He's our
Christian
8 o'clock, I think.
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure he is coming on. So he did this cool rendition of Mad World with the Mighty Happy Crew. We'll play it. He has it up on his Facebook. You can go to mightyhappycrew.com to watch the whole thing. And it's with some other people. It's a combo deal, but I love this song. So we'll play it for you. As John Muir would say, the mountains are calling, and we must go. Whoa, it's really loud. It's really loud. Whoa. Oh my gosh. And then it stopped. Let's try it again.
We're getting a little tease.
Yeah. The mountains are calling when we must go, but not that loud, of course. Let's try this again. Come on, Facebook. Give me some love. There we go.